So Kate, for people that don't know anything about you, do you want to give kind of a bit of background on yourself and tell them your story so far?
Yeah, sure. I think it's a very familiar story to a lot of people. I actually spent about 10 years in London working in media. I had a fine art background and a father who was a businessman. He was very nervous at the prospect of me going straight into the art world in a practical sense. And he really did put me off kind of at the 11th hour of doing a fine art degree and told me I needed to get some business experience. And it was the best piece of advice anyone's ever given me, categorically. So I did 10 years in London and then kind of took the time out that I think you have to be taken away from a regular monthly income to have kids. And then it was post children that I found photography as a hobby, very much so. And really, it just went very quickly. And it was actually Brett Harkness who told me about Aspire and the Bespoke course. And then literally within 6 months of being on that, the business had kind of started. And it's been totally mental, if I'm honest. And the business is now like 4.5 or something. And yeah, it's just beyond anything I had ever imagined. It's quite a monster to maintain, but no, it's been great.
Okay,
So I
brilliant.
was the muck with the camera.
Yeah, and I mean, how do you think that you talked a wee bit about your business experience? How do you think that has helped you actually? And I know you worked in like TV marketing and things like that as well. How has that
Yeah.
helped you to approach your business then?
Yeah, I think there are kind of three things. One is when you've worked in a corporation, certainly the size of the one. So it was actually ITV, Carlton London's office. You learn how to behave in business. And I think you learn to take on a public persona that must never drop. You learn to understand the importance of um, yeah of just how to behave. Then I spent some time working in very specifically in branding. So I went from client side to agency side, and that was absolutely fascinating. And that has had a huge impact on how quickly my business kind of got established. And then the third thing critically was as I went agency side, I was dealing with clients. That was my job. I was an account director, and it just teaches you how to not be negotiated with or how to
Mm.
handle upset, because at the end of the day, particularly for you and I who are shooting weddings, 95% of the time all is good, and then 5% of the time something happens with a client, and often I found, I don't know about you, that it's them being unreasonable, it's not us, but you have to handle it and you have to be able to manage it, and I have found that I can hold my ground and deal with it, and I think a lot of photographers crumble
Mm.
because it can be quite frightening.